the shift though. You're this corporate marketing branding specialist that I would call a shift. Now you're this creator of story time in all sorts of different media focused on kids. And tell us about how that happened.
I didn't know that I get to do what when I was young. I grew up really shy, all throughout school, elementary up to high school, even probably college. I was shy like my character, Unicorn Jazz. So I do put in my personality in some of the characters I take from people I know and put them in my storytelling. I often say growing up shy, my only voice was on paper. That was my expression, and obviously, as we know, as adults, that communication, the art of communication there's so many ways to communicate. And so growing up, I didn't know that my writing was going to be in my thesis, in my essays, when I entered business, and I became the one that did the brochures and enter marketing, into entrepreneurship, doing a 60-second radio ad, you got to write it. The writing has to be so compelling. So those are the things that I learned along the way. Marketing, doing someone's website, that I would look at it and say, that doesn't convey what you're supposed to be doing. To create a video, a storyboard, a video, if any great movie started with writing. So when I'm asked, what is the one thing that you've learned in life that you would recommend to everyone? I say writing. I don't see it any other way. So I've been writing, and curious and very interested since I was 7, no different than a musician who's been playing since they've been 7, right? So I have, 20, 30,000 hours of writing by now. I can write really fast. And in helping other businesses fulfill their dreams in marketing their business or platform to a higher level, I created Skip a Step to, I went on a 2.5-year journey researching, asking questions like, what would you tell your younger self, your 21-year-old self, your 7-year-old self? It wasn't about like, how do you make a lot of money? It was, how would you skip steps, and tell your younger self, tell the younger generations things that you've learned, so that there could, if someone wants to be an entrepreneur or a leader, support a great entrepreneur, the things that they would have to know, because I wish I had grown up with this. I grew up with no one entrepreneurial in my family. I grew up really poor. The odds were against me being Hispanic family. My mom was a single mom raising 5 kids. My grandmother had just a 3rd grade education. So for me, I'm a super learner, as you can tell, and as we all should be, learning for life. And in 2018, I had helped enough businesses do what they love, grow to a high level of success. And it was like my turn. What is it that I want to do? What is it that I want to do till the day I die? That's fun, that's playful, that makes a difference. And it was write children's books.
So Lisa, when you talk about this, it's, clearly your energy comes through. I just wonder, in that skip a step, has anybody ever said, you don't need to go to college?
Oh yeah. There's lots of people that didn't go to college. It's you kind of can figure it out. I mean, to the cost of college. So I think some people can go start their own business. You want to get a mentor and things like that. But college costing upwards of $150,000 or more, you can use that to do what you love. If that's you. Again, not everyone's meant to be an entrepreneur.
Sure.
But definitely, we grow up in an age where people have a passion or idea and they can grow it into something that reaches an audience, and that's a business. You're solving a problem. You're helping someone.
Yeah. And it's, I think, going down a path that may be non-traditional is really good. So I love the idea of your book of, what steps can I skip to get to where I really want to go?
Well, and Lisa, I want to talk about this. You predominantly work with kids. Your message is technically to kids. But as I'm listening to this, I'm sensing that there's this element of, hey, adults, let's bring more of this fun and entertainment and playfulness into business and leadership.
Yes. I'm so glad you picked up on that. Yeah, because and my books adults love reading them because they know my background and they're, like, how did you change? Why children's books? I get asked many times. Two reasons when I get asked why children's books, because mind you, before 2018, I would say I was typecast in business and marketing world, going networking, putting on my, business dress, going, traveling with alongside CEOs, different than I am now going into schools now. I speak to the whole schools virtual Zoom or in person. And, I have to be like a kid. I put on my unicorn headband and I really like a kid with knowledge, teaching them. And so when people ask me why children's books, there's two reasons. One is it was a way for me to revisit my childhood. And I want to say corrected, if you will, but like, what are things that I wish as a speaker, what can I impart the children to grow up to do? And it's that when you're in school, what are you doing? You're all your grade school, you're getting taught different core, lessons and subjects about what are you going to do when you grow up, right? You're going to learn, am I going to be a math person? Am I going to be a scientist? Am I going to go into medicine? Am I going to be an artist? Am I going to be a writer? So that's why I created the book, The Thing I Do, because I wish as a young child, someone would have said, if you want to be an author and that's your thing, you should do more of that. If you want to be an artist, like my cousin, it was his dream to be a published illustrator. And it happens that he's my cousin. And the thing he does is he gets to do this a lot now.
And he illustrated your book. That's awesome.
Yeah. Singing is a part of my platform. Guess what? The professional singers, that's the thing they do. So in schools, it's not so much, and not everyone's going to be an author. I know that, but it's about getting them excited that they should continue to learn and love the interest in any of those fields, like I said, because if someone's telling these younger people, I wish I was them, how my whole life would have changed. And I you can't go back, but I wish I was doing now this at 20 years old,
Yeah. And so is this really primarily focused on the arts?
No, it's on my presentations are about team building. It's about being kind to one another. My book, I See You Choosing Kindness, because as you grow up, you're going to need people on your team. Like you have a team, you too. You have to be kind to one another. My business has happened because of other people helping me. I'm just a spokesperson. I had to learn how to speak. Used to be terrified. I had to learn all these things. And that's what you invest in your life, in courses or helping other people, that kind of thing. But for me, I teach this, science, technology, engineering, the arts, math, all those go hand in hand, and they all really support one another, kind of like it does with my show that's now on Amazon and an app called Kidsby, The Thing I Do. And at the end, I know it's audio, your podcast, but I'll just show up to you and describe it. So at the end of The Thing I Do book, and there's also a song called The Thing I Do, it's showing like, here's a Narwhal Nayali showing, she's painting art. And there's a Dr. Chris, he's an owl, you can see, with a stethoscope. And I tell kids, maybe you're going to be like Sam the snake here who likes to bake. There's a picture of him baking, so that they grow up and they get, we all need, don't we need all these people today? Kind of, we need the scientist, we need the technology, the podcaster, we need the teacher. So it's about looking at everyone's perspectives and appreciating them, because oftentimes in life, childhood or adult, it's easy to just take all eyes on me, right? Kind of like selfish, but you have to look at other viewpoints in life. And that's what makes the world go round.
Well, it's interesting. You talk about this entrepreneurial mindset, and so many people see entrepreneurial mindset as entrepreneurship. And I found they're very different. And I was involved in a nonprofit, I don't know how long ago. The guy's concept was, he was an entrepreneur and he said, let's teach entrepreneurship to young people, not necessarily to be entrepreneurs, but because entrepreneurial skills are life skills and vice versa. And that's what people think. It's not about entrepreneurship. It's a mindset. So talk about that mindset element that you're sharing with these kids.
No, I love that you said that, because it's really about communication. It's about knowing human behavior. You have a team or a staff, which you're going to kind of have that in your business. And how do you communicate with people? How do you make them happy? Happy employees make for a happy company. Disgruntled employees make for
crazy talk.
Stressful. So it's all of these things. And because I work with so many variety of businesses, if I were to go in and start, taking on their marketing or branding, I would get to know the people. And sometimes you kind of realize that there was problems within the organizations. And if they're not happy, well,